The last rays of afternoon sunlight filtered through the glass windows of the Target store in downtown Los Angeles, creating long streaks of light on the polished floor. Tommy Wilson, a 12-year-old boy with messy brown hair and clear blue eyes, was standing in front of the perfume shelf with a tense expression. In his hand, he clutched a small envelope containing $47, the amount of money he had saved over the past 3 months from mowing neighbors' lawns and taking out the trash every week. Tomorrow is his mother's birthday, and Tommy wants to buy a very special gift. Sarah Wilson, Tommy's mother, is a nurse who works the night shift at the local hospital. Since his father died in a car accident 2 years ago, his mother has had to work double time to support them. Tommy often saw dark circles under his mother's eyes every morning when she returned from her shift, but she always tried to give him a warm smile when she woke him up for school. "As long as I have you, I'll always be happy," his mother often said, but Tommy knew life wasn't easy for her. He heard his mother's sobbing sounds late at night when she thought he was fast asleep. Each time, Tommy's little heart clenched painfully. The sweet scent from the perfume bottles wafted in the air, making Tommy even more confused. He carefully picked up a bottle of light pink perfume, read the price, and sighed. $79.99, more than he could afford. Tommy put down the perfume bottle, a feeling of disappointment rising in his heart. He dreamed of giving his mother a luxurious bottle of perfume, like the perfume his father gave her on her last birthday before he passed away. "It seems you're having trouble choosing," a deep voice said from behind Tommy. He turned around and was surprised to see a tall man with long black hair smiling at him. Tommy blinked a few times. He realized it was Keanu Reeves, the famous actor he had watched in the movie John Wick with his mother on a rare evening she had off. "Yes, I wanted to buy Mom a birthday present," Tommy replied, his voice trembling with surprise. "But I don't have enough money to buy this perfume." Keanu moved closer, his eyes gently looking down at the envelope in Tommy's hand. "Could you help me? You seem to have tried really hard to save this money." Tommy felt his cheeks heat up. He didn't want others to pity him, but there was something in Keanu's eyes that made him feel safe to share. "My mom has been working very hard since Dad passed away. I just want to make her happy on her birthday." Tommy's voice trailed off, and he felt tears begin to well up in his eyes. The sweet scent from the surrounding perfume bottles suddenly became suffocating. The sounds of shoppers and music from the store's speakers seemed to fade away, leaving only a heavy feeling in my heart. Keanu placed his hand on Tommy's shoulder, and the boy could feel the gentle warmth of the man's hand. "Tommy, sometimes the most meaningful gift is not the most expensive one. I believe your mother will appreciate any gift that comes from your heart." Tommy's blue eyes widened as he looked up at Keanu's kind face. There was something in his voice that made Tommy feel comforted. He could hear his heart beating loudly in his chest, and a warm feeling began to spread. "Hey, I have an idea," Keanu said, his eyes lighting up. "Why don't we find a special gift for your mother together? Sometimes 2 heads are better than 1. Tommy nodded, quickly wiping away the tears rolling down his cheeks. Together with Keanu, he started walking along the rows of the store. With every step he took, he felt the burden in his heart lighten a little. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling shined down, creating long shadows of 2 people on the floor. One tall, one short, but walking in the same rhythm. They stopped at the crafts section, where photo frames and albums were for sale. Tommy realized that his mother always treasured family photos, especially those taken with his father. He still remembers how his mother used to sit for hours, flipping through old album pages, caressing the photos with distant eyes. "What do you think about creating a special photo album?" Keanu suggested, holding up a luxurious red-brown leather album. "You can make it yourself. Fill it with beautiful memories of your family." Tommy held the album, feeling the softness of the leather cover under his fingers. The familiar new leather smell reminded him of the leather wallet his father often used. Its price, $29.99, was within his affordability. "And with the rest of the money," Keanu continued, "you can buy little decorations to make the album extra special. And maybe—" He paused for a moment, a warm smile spreading across his face. "I can help you a little with the rest." Tommy felt his heart beat faster when he heard Keanu's suggestion. He looked at the famous man with surprised eyes, not daring to believe his ears. The store's lights seemed brighter, and the surrounding atmosphere suddenly became strangely warm. "Really? Uncle? Will you help me?" Tommy stammered, his voice choked with emotion. He clenched the album in his hand, feeling every grain of the leather cover under his trembling fingers. Keanu nodded. His smile was warmer than the afternoon sunlight filtering through the glass windows. "Of course, but first, let me hear about your mother. Can you tell me about her?" Tommy and Keanu find a quiet corner in the crafts area. They sat down on a display chair, surrounded by colorful ribbons and glittering birthday cards. The smell of new paper and glue wafts in the air, creating a familiar space, like in a craft workshop. "Your mother is a nurse," Tommy began, his eyes shining with pride. "Mom works in the emergency department. She says that's where she can help the most people." He stopped for a moment, took a deep breath. The familiar smell of Johnson's baby perfume that my mother often used after every shift suddenly flashed in my mind. Mom always comes home with tired legs, but she still tries to cook breakfast for me before going to bed. Her pancakes are the best in the world, Tommy smiled, remembering the sweet taste of those pancakes. The cake is golden brown, with maple syrup slowly dripping down. Mom often sings old songs while cooking. Her voice isn't very good, but I like listening to her sing. Keanu listened without interrupting. His eyes held deep understanding, as if he were seeing Sarah Wilson through her son's words. "Your mother sounds like a very special woman," he said softly. "Yes, Mom is the best," Tommy nodded vigorously, tears starting to well up again. "Since Dad passed away, Mom has never complained about anything. But I know Mom misses Dad very much. I often hear Mom crying at night." Tommy's voice trailed off, and a tear rolled down his cheek. Keanu quietly handed him a tissue from his coat pocket. The leather smell of the black leather jacket he was wearing mixed with the gentle scent of perfume, creating a feeling of safety and warmth. "You know," Keanu said after a moment of silence, "sometimes the strongest people are the ones who need love the most. And love isn't always expressed through expensive gifts." Tommy wiped his tears and looked up at Keanu with curious eyes. He smiled and stood up, reaching out his hand to help the boy stand up. "Let's create a special gift for your mother, shall we?" They started walking around the crafts area, choosing decorations. Keanu helps Tommy choose the most beautiful colored paper, sparkly stickers, and colorful ribbons. Every time he picks up an item, Tommy imagines his mother's reaction when she sees it. "Mommy likes purple," Tommy said as they were choosing wrapping paper. "Mom said it reminded her of the lavender flowers in Grandma's garden." Keanu nodded approvingly and reached for a roll of pale purple wrapping paper with a delicate lavender pattern. Then this would be the perfect choice. Once they had selected all the necessary items, Tommy began calculating the amount. He took out a small piece of paper from his pocket and carefully wrote down each item. Album, $29.99, colored paper, $5.99, sticker, $3.99, Ribbon, $4.99. A total of $44.96. Just enough. Within your ability to pay. But Keanu has other plans. He gently added a limited edition mini perfume bottle to the cart. Not the expensive bottle that Tommy had seen before, but an equally sophisticated and luxurious scent. "This will be a gift from you," he said when he saw Tommy was about to object. "Everyone deserves a little luxury on their birthday." Tommy felt a warm feeling well up in his chest. He didn't know what to say except a choked, "Thank you." Keanu just smiled and patted his shoulder, as if he understood everything Tommy wanted to say, without having to use words. After paying, Keanu offered to help Tommy decorate the album right at a small table in the cafe area of Target. The afternoon light has turned orange-red, casting the last rays of sunlight through the large glass window, creating a warm and intimate space. The strong smell of coffee from the nearby coffee shop blends with the smell of freshly baked pastries, creating a pleasant atmosphere. "Did you bring the photo?" Keanu asked as they arranged things on the table. Tommy nodded and took out from his backpack a photo album that had been carefully wrapped in a Ziploc bag. Those were the photos he secretly selected from old albums in the house, the most beautiful moments of his family. "This is my favorite photo," Tommy said, carefully taking out a slightly yellowed photo. In the photo, his parents are dancing in the backyard, surrounded by blooming violets. The mother's smile in the photo is so radiant that it seems to illuminate the entire frame. This photo was taken on Mom's birthday 3 years ago, before Dad passed away. Keanu gently took the photo and looked at it with respectful eyes. "This would be the perfect photo to put on the first page of the album," he suggested. "Your mother's smile in this photo is so beautiful." Tommy nodded in agreement, feeling a lump rise in his throat. He still clearly remembers his mother's laughter that day, clear and bustling, like the sound of wind chimes in the spring breeze. Dad suddenly turned on music from the old radio in the garage and dragged Mom into the garden to dance an impromptu waltz. They began to arrange the photos in chronological order. Each photo carries a story, and Tommy tells Keanu each story with the enthusiasm of a young storyteller. There are photos of the family camping in Yosemite, photos from Christmas parties, and even everyday moments like Dad teaching Tommy to ride a bike, or Mom and Tommy baking cookies together. Keanu listened to each story with sincere interest, occasionally asking questions that made Tommy think deeper about his memories. He showed him how to decorate each album page to make it special. A piece of ribbon tied into a delicate bow at the corner of the page, sparkling stickers cleverly placed to highlight the photo, and captions, written in crayon with Tommy's careful handwriting. "You know," Keanu said as they decorated a page with a photo of Tommy's mother hugging him after a school performance, "sometimes the most ordinary moments are the most memorable. Hugs, smiles, breakfasts together, those are the things that create true happiness." Tommy stopped writing and looked up, his blue eyes meeting the warm gaze of the famous man. "You're right. I remember waking up every morning to hear Mom singing in the kitchen, or how she always kissed my forehead before I went to sleep, even when she was very tired after a shift." When they reached the last page of the album, Keanu handed Tommy a light purple piece of paper. "Perhaps you should write a short letter to your mother," he suggested. "Sometimes the unspoken words are more important than the most beautiful photos." Tommy held the paper, feeling its smoothness under his fingers. There was a faint smell of fresh paper, and he could hear soft music playing from the store's speakers. He picked up the pen, and after a moment of thinking, began to write. "Dear Mother, I know the past few days have not been easy for you, Mom. I see Mom working hard to take care of me. I see the nights she cries when she thinks I'm asleep. I want you to know that I love you very much. and I'm proud of you every day. Mom is the strongest, bravest person I have ever known. I miss Dad, and I know Mom does too, but I think Dad would be very proud of the way Mom raised me. I promise to try my best to study well and become a good son, so you don't have to worry too much. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you, Mom. Mother's son, Tommy. When Tommy finished writing, he realized he was crying. Tears fell onto the paper, leaving small wet spots like emotional dots on the letter. Keanu gently placed his hand on his shoulder, saying nothing, just being there as a warm and steady presence. Outside the Target store, the sky had turned the deep purple of sunset. The street lights began to turn on, radiating warm yellow light into the parking lot. Tommy and Keanu stood outside the store, the gift carefully wrapped in Tommy's hands, the album wrapped in lavender-patterned purple wrapping paper, tied with a sparkling silver bow, and the small bottle of perfume wrapped individually in a lovely box. "Thank you so much," Tommy said, his voice shaking with emotion. "I don't know what to do without your help." Keanu smiled, the streetlight reflected in his gentle eyes. "It's okay, Tommy. I believe your mother will be very happy to receive this gift. Sometimes, love is best shown through the little things we do for others." Tommy hugged the gift tightly to his chest, smelling the new wrapping paper and the light scent of perfume. A light wind blew, carrying the cold air of the descending evening, making him shiver. "Let me take you home, okay?" Keanu suggested, looking at his watch. "It's already dark." Tommy nodded gratefully. On the way home, in Keanu's car, they talked about everything. About Tommy's school, about Keanu's acting work, and about the movies Tommy watched with his mother. The leather smell of new car seats and the gentle scent of perfume in the car create a cozy space. When they arrived in front of Tommy's small house, the light in the kitchen was on, a sign that Mom had come home from the night shift. Tommy's heart beat faster when he thought of his mother's reaction when she saw the gift. "Good luck, Tommy," Keanu said, as Tommy got out of the car. "And remember, sometimes the strongest people need to be reminded how much they are loved." Tommy nodded, tears in his eyes. "Thank you, Uncle, for everything." He stood and watched until Keanu's car disappeared around the corner, then turned back into the house, his heart pounding with excitement. When Tommy opened the door, the delicious smell of pancakes wafted from the kitchen. His mother was standing by the kitchen, still in her nurse uniform, her hair tied neatly but a bit disheveled after a long shift. She was softly singing an old song, her voice tired but still sweet. "Are you home yet?" Sarah Wilson turned around, a tired but warm smile on her lips. "I'm making breakfast for you." "Happy birthday, Mom!" Tommy ran to hug his mother, carefully holding the gift behind his back. The smell of antiseptic from the hospital still lingered on her mother's shirt, mixed with the familiar scent of Johnson's baby perfume. "Oh, you remember?" Sarah smiled, hugging her son back. "I thought you forgot." "You'll never forget," Tommy said, then held out the gift. "Here, Mom's birthday present." Sarah Wilson was surprised to see the carefully wrapped gift. "Oh, Tommy!" She gently took the gift, her fingers caressing the lavender-patterned wrapping paper. "You did it all yourself?" "I have a special friend to help me," Tommy smiled secretly. As Sarah opened the gift and flipped through the album pages, tears began to roll down her cheeks. Every photo, every caption makes her stop for a long time. When she read the letter on the last page, she couldn't hold back anymore and burst into tears. "Come here," Sarah waved to Tommy. When he came close, she hugged him tightly. Tommy could feel his mother's strong heartbeat and warm tears falling down the shoulders of his shirt. "You are the best gift God has given me. I love you so much." Tommy cried too, but they were happy tears. He knows that no matter how difficult life is, the love between mother and child will always be the most precious thing. And somewhere in this city of Los Angeles, there was a kind man who helped a boy understand that sometimes the most meaningful gift is not the most expensive one, but the one that comes from the heart. Outside the kitchen window, the first stars have begun to twinkle in the night sky. The smell of pancakes wafted through the air, mingling with the gentle scent of a new perfume bottle. A scent of love, of beautiful memories, and of hope for the days ahead. Sarah and Tommy sat together, flipping through album pages, retelling old stories, and creating new memories on this special birthday.